Hello, hello! Welcome back! This is part 2 in a series on how to create a professional development plan. I'm so excited you're here. Let's get started. Welcome back to another video about professional development plans and how to create them. If you have not yet seen the very first video in this series, make sure you click the card at the top and that will take you to part 1, which talks about mission and vision. This is part 2 and we are going to be talking about setting goals, and I'm very excited. So in the first video, we talked about the mission and vision. As a refresher, those are important because a mission talks about what it is you accomplish, and a vision talks about what you are hoping to accomplish in the future. So what are your goals? The goals are the actionable steps that you take to implement that philosophy. So a mission and vision are incredibly important because they provide you with direction. But if you don't have shoes to wear when you're walking in that direction, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get there. That's what the goals are. I'm not talking about things like SMART goals. Those are valuable, incredibly valuable, in a lot of different ways. But for the purposes of the exercise in this video, we are not going to be talking about SMART goals. Instead, we're going to be talking about goals as generalized statements. I'm going to provide you with 2 examples from my own business as an author. The first is grow social media engagement across all platforms through content, consistency, and marketing. The second is produce consistent, quality writing in alignment with the publishing plan. So how did I come up with those goals? I'm going to tell you. With sticky notes. When I was first starting out my business, it was really hard to give myself a sense of direction. And I've talked about that a little bit in my first video, as well as the first video that was a part of this series. I just felt like it was really difficult to give myself a direction. What I liked about the way that I decided to write goals is that it essentially allowed me to write them backwards. You might have some general ideas, some theoretical, hypothetical things that you would like to do, that you'd like to be. But if you don't have a list of things you'd actually like to do, how do you actually know what you want to do? So what I did was, I grabbed a stack of sticky notes and I started writing down everything I wanted to do. Everything. Nothing was too small, nothing was too embarrassing. It didn't matter because nobody else was going to see these sticky notes. That's what I'm going to ask you to do right now. Grab a pen, grab a stack of sticky notes, and get writing. Write down everything that you can imagine about what you want to do with your business. Everything. There is nothing that's too small, and there is nothing that you should be embarrassed about. These are your dreams. These are the things that you're hoping to accomplish, and you are going to make them happen. You might end up with 30 or 40 sticky notes, and that's okay, because there's probably a lot that you want to do that you haven't realized yet. Maybe you want to write a newsletter. Maybe you want to create a personal brand or logo because you've never had one before. Maybe you want to write a business plan. Maybe you want to expand onto a new platform of social media. There are tons of things out there that you probably want to accomplish. Let's start writing them down. Let's start giving them a voice. Write down every single thing that comes to mind on a separate sticky note. Then you're going to take every single one of those sticky notes and you're going to spread them all over a wall. I don't care if you have to take a picture down, or if you have to go into your closet or a bathroom, or if you go into the garage, you're going to put them up on a wall. So go ahead and take 15 or 20 minutes to do that. Pause this video. I'll wait. Now that you have completed that task, First of all, how great does that feel? I mean, I know that when I actually wrote down all the things I wanted to accomplish, I was almost astounded at all the things that I thought I might be capable of doing. It's a pretty cool feeling. Now that you've done that, I'm gonna have you take all that wall of sticky notes and you're gonna start moving them around and lumping them into themes. What do I mean by themes? Here's an example. Maybe you've said that you want to start a newsletter and you've said that you want to expand onto a new platform of social media. Both of those could technically be considered engagement with a customer. So taking those two things and putting them together puts them into kind of an engagement theme. Now, engagement doesn't have to be a theme that you do, but that's just an example. Because I'm not there with you, obviously you're gonna have to figure out what those themes are. But you'll start to get the picture as you start going through everything and looking at what ties together. So go ahead and take a few minutes to try and break those things down into 3 or 4 themes. And go ahead and pause me again. I won't get my feelings hurt. Now that you've gotten the sticky notes out of the way and you've lumped everything into a couple of themes, it's time to start drafting those goals. And I have another worksheet for you. It's going to be linked in the description below, and it's the Hustle Up Girl Part 2 worksheet. It's fairly similar to the worksheet that was in Part 1 if you downloaded that and used that to help you with your mission and vision. The main difference is that in place of a section for you to do a lot of drafting and brainstorming, it allows you to write down all of the information that you put on your sticky notes so that you have it in one place. I've also provided some theme examples for those of you who might be struggling with the idea of what types of themes you might be able to put together for your business. And then of course, there's also this same list of verbs and buzzwords at the bottom for those of us who do not have a thesaurus for a brain. I cannot get that word out. Thesaurus. There's also some goals examples, as well as space to draft and write down final versions of your goals. I know it might seem like I write my goals backwards, and I think I do. It might not work for everyone, and that's okay. If this system doesn't work for you, write your goals your own way, and that's totally fine. But get excited, because the next thing we're gonna do, once we've completed our mission and vision and our goals, is we're gonna finally jump into actual professional development. Make sure to leave a comment or a question if you have some feedback or any thoughts. I'd love to hear from those of you who are actually using the worksheets to see how it's working for you. Because honestly, I've only ever used these on myself, and I'd love to hear how they work for someone else. If you thought this video was helpful, make sure you click the subscribe so you get notified when I come out with Part 3. We're gonna be talking about the Hustle Up Girl 4 pillars of professional development. And I think they're pretty spectacular, so I'm excited to share that with you. Yeah!